Welcome to the Dirt Trail Running Podcast. My name is Michelle Hartwig, and I am your host. And my co-host here is Crystal the Pistol.
Hello, me and my frizzy hair. What's up, everybody?
And today we have an awesome couple that a lot of people in the Ornery Mule community know. Becca Jones, she was just at book club, and she was in Ryan's book, Bigfoot 200. She ran a part of the Bigfoot 200.
Yes.
And we might dive into that a little bit about how that race went. And then John Cox, he's been on the podcast before. He ran Hennepin 100 virtually, and he signed up for the Hennepin 100 this year.
Yes.
Yay.
Yay. I'm excited to do it with people.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, when you did it, though, did you say that there was some people out there running it?
No.
Okay.
So I actually went up and I ran the course, and I saw one guy.
Yeah, I think it was just a few days after y'all did your run up there.
It was like the next week or something like that.
Yeah.
There was one guy in 53 miles. I saw one guy.
Was he fishing?
No, he had because it was freezing that day.
Okay.
Like it snowed that morning. No, he was like in a burqa. Like,
Okay.
what are you doing out here? Like, I'm running to Condona, man. Like, what are you doing?
Well, that's awesome. I think that we should have a 100-mile race there in the winter if we could guarantee that there was going to be snow, though, because it is so pretty when it's covered in snow.
Yeah.
It was gorgeous. Like when it dusted everything, it made it fun for us.
I'm going to pass on that. Snow race.
Well, I don't like the cold, but it made it scenic for me.
Yeah. And yes, because you live in Tennessee.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, like, what's the temperature like for you in regular training?
Oh, bipolar? That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's all over. Like it ranges.
Wow. Yeah, I feel like most of our training is done, like right now it's summer, so we're gearing up for fall. We ran this morning with 90 some degrees and 100% humidity, and you just start sweating as soon as you get out of the car.
Yeah.
And then if you want to run a spring race, it rains the entire time and it's 40 degrees.
Yep.
And then your race comes and it's sunny and 70.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah, it is nice. But you go from hot to nice fall day to rainy and miserable to wonderful spring day.
Yeah, we don't get a whole lot of snow. We get a lot of ice when anything happens and rain.
Yeah. So.
And that humidity, like, you guys are especially tough runners. We had Carl Metzler on the show, and he described Kettle 100 as having 180% humidity, which I thought was so.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. So you guys know how that feels, and I really think that makes us Midwest, center of the country runners tougher, because if we can handle that, train through that, we can do anything.
Absolutely. Midwest people have to train through everything. Like, if you want to run ultras in the Midwest, you have to train through summer humidity, winter cold weather. Like, you don't get a season off.
Yeah.
Unless you're only going to run one race a year. So you got to be tougher than those weak coasters.
Yeah, we're putting West Coast on the map. But you guys you've done all of them. We got to know John a little bit, but I don't know a lot about Becca. You're crushing it for sure.
Thank you.
Where, and I know you take good care of John. You got a lot of really cool training things. When did you start running? What got you into ultra running?
I ran track and cross country. I feel like half the running community ran back in the day, or they just picked it up. There's not a whole lot of middle ground.
Yeah.
I just started 2 years ago, or I've been running since middle school. Which is me. I've been running since high school, and I got into running because I played basketball, and they were like, "Hey, you should come run track." And I was like, "That's dumb. I hate running." I was like, "That's the stupidest thing." But they saw me running up and down the court, and they were like, "Do you ever get tired?" They called me the Energizer Bunny back then. I was like, "No, I do not." "Oh, yeah, come run." Anyways, fast forward, I stayed running through trails and exercise and just no real purpose. I maybe did a couple 5Ks. I didn't really do shit. Like I just was like, oh, I'm gonna go run red, blah blah blah. You know, I didn't know that people actually did things. And then somewhere around my 30th birthday, I was drinking with my best friend's brother for his birthday, and he said, you know, he wanted to run an ultra, and I said, yeah. He was like 50K, and I was like, oh yeah, that sounds awesome. Let's do it, because we'd run together sometimes. And I was like, how far is that? And he told me, and I was like, yeah, that's great. I never ran more than 10 or 13 miles, I think. Like I had never done a half marathon. I had never done anything like that. And long story short, I found a training group and ended up running first 50K. And kind of after that, I was hooked. And I went from 50K, ran a couple 100Ks to attempting a 200 miler. I ran actually my first 200 milers in 200 mile attempts.
Okay. So you skipped the 100 miler.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
just went to 200 miler.
Yeah, not until recently, and by recently I mean probably like the past year, I've worked towards trying to dial in that 100-mile distance. 200s were always a thing because, as I said, I don't ever really feel tired. Like I mean, like I'll get tired like any normal freaking human, but I always have more energy to give. So it never felt like it was that distance for me. It never. This is going to sound like the most arrogant bullshit ever, but it never felt that challenging. Like I knew I could do it. I knew I could move for that long. I bartended for 16 years. I did lots of long shifts, 18 and 20-hour shifts for big parties and stuff. So I knew I could be on my feet for a really long time. And I think that's what gets a lot of people is their feet hurting and standing so long. So it was kind of, yeah, it's weird. My story doesn't even make sense.
Well,
I fell into it.
Well, it does. I mean, from high school, they called you the Energizer Bunny, and I'm wondering, like, have you always ate really well, like lived a very healthy lifestyle? Would that be part of it?
No. No.
Come on, like.
No. I started working in restaurants at 16, and then literally the day after I turned 18, I went and got a job in a bar serving, and I worked in bars and managed bars and bartended literally for 16 years. I drank a lot, had a lot of not so great habits there for a lot of years, and a lot of French fries and tater tots. But
so you were ready for aid stations.
Oh yeah, I was always ready for that. Like Fireball. And
here's the thing: is that because I think this is one of Becca's strengths, because of her ability, the necessity all those years to like eat an entire meal in 3 minutes.
Yep.
Like she can come into an aid station at miles 60 or 70, and she can take 1,000 calories, and her stomach doesn't get upset, and she can just keep on rolling. So I genuinely think that's an advantage that she has. Is you can say you need to eat this and you need to eat all of it, and she'll put it down and it won't upset her stomach, and she'll be able to keep moving. So yeah, she's ready for aid stations for sure.
He is right about that. I can wolf down some stuff and ingest like 1,200 calories and be like, all right, let's go. You
could give her a pan of lasagna at miles 70 and she would be like, all right, whatever, I'm eating lasagna now, this is fine.
that really is a strength. I know other runners that like come out of an aid station just with piles of food, and they never run out. That is a trick to not running out of energy if you can do it.
Yeah. And my stomach can definitely take it, thank goodness. And it's years of, you have 10 minutes or 3 minutes or 5 because you're on a double and there's no one to watch your stuff. So you have to eat an entire chicken sandwich in less than 25 seconds or in 5 bites.
Or you have to eat the table's fries on the way, so that when you get there, they said, you forgot my French fries. And you go, oh, I forgot your fries.
But I will say for Cruel Jewel, I gave up, like, not that, we get crazy or anything, but I gave up drinking a lot of alcohol and really dialed in my diet and got really healthy before. That was the goal a couple months out, was to be as healthy as I could, because I can say that the miles weren't necessarily there because we had a lot going on, and I think moving and stuff. And then by the time I looked up, I was like, oh crap, like my training cycle is now this big when it should be this big. And I don't, I tell people not to make this mistake, like all of a sudden throw in all these miles and go, oh my God, I got to train and like cram all this stuff in. And I was like, best thing I can do is just take care of my body and get in a good place.
Fair enough. I would definitely say you did not cram the training in, that you went ahead, and you did show up very healthy though, mentally, physically, emotionally. I think that's really important too. It's an aspect of the sport that gets overlooked a lot.
Yeah.
Is your mental health, your emotional health, just being all around healthy, like not carrying that stress of everyday life into your event. Like, sure, if you only got 20-mile weeks or instead of 40-mile weeks that you were looking for, but you're mentally sound and your body isn't broken, I think you're going to have a better race than if you just beat yourself into submission with high mileage.
Yeah. I was the healthiest I've been since I was a teenager. Like, legit, like just
I didn't know you when you were a teenager.
I
can't vouch for that.
I reached a spot where I got really wild and didn't really slow down for a lot of years. So right before that, where I played basketball year round and stayed in fitness basketball camps, had a personal trainer. Like, I started with a personal trainer in like 6th grade. So
she also had a pony, just in case anybody's keeping score at home. She had a pony and a personal trainer.
I also got to pick that pony out.
She did not have a personal pony trainer. That pony, from what I hear, was a joke.
It was not. I definitely picked it out.
What was the pony's name?
Rainbow Sunshine Dapple something. I am not sure. Asshole is probably what it should have been. My parents hated that thing.
So are ponies known to be assholes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's their personality.
Like, I've never had a pony.
Me neither.
There you go.
They're jerks. They are, and this one was particularly mean. So it was a stereotype of every little pony.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. I had no idea.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, my parents got rid of it. They told me something happened to it.
Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure they sold it to a glue factory or on up the road. I think they told me it went to a farm up the road.
There aren't any farms up the road. Like, it is a dead end street. There's nothing down there.
It turned into a unicorn.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
and I did have a cart. It never pulled me around in the cart, but I did have a cart.
Yeah, what are you supposed to do with ponies? Like pet them or
ride them around? I mean, we had some horses growing up because my parents, back before I was born, like boarded horses and stuff. My dad grew up on the same property where we have the Murder Mile.
That's true.
And it was farm. Like, he did something with like livestock stuff and was like the livestock guy for like the county or something. It was a whole, I don't know.
Livestock commissioner? Was he John Dutton?
Of like Davidson County, yeah.
Nice.
So there was always, animals that came and went. So it wasn't a big deal to have another horse out there. Like, they used to board little Jimmy Dickens horse. The little guy in country music, whatever. Anyways, yeah, you're not from here. It's fine.
Yeah, I don't know Jimmy Dickens.
You're not getting a reaction for anybody else. It's not just me. Like, somebody in the gallery.
Everybody Google Jimmy Dickens. We want to know who this is.
I don't.
Wait, I'm gonna do it right now.
Make sure to turn your filter on.
But like, yeah, there were always.
Loretta knows who it is. Of
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Yeah.
Do you have a picture
you
of
know
him?
when you see him. Yeah, you're gonna like see it now. You're gonna be like, I know who that is. He was in all those Brad Paisley country music videos.
I don't know how we went from ultra running to Jimmy Dickens and ponies. I guess it's Ornery Mule, but we're talking about ponies.
Yeah, but the pony's kind of an asshole, so okay, yeah.
Look at that get up. Oh, I like it.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, that's great. So we'll get back on track with Cruel Jewel. But we can keep going down these ornery rabbit holes.
Ornery Dickens.
Ornery Dickens.
So Cruel Jewel, like you all of a sudden you had a very short training window, but I imagine you probably consistently somewhat trained, before that, like somewhat, regular movement. No, just you
Yes.
moved, so that was a lot of work.
Yeah,
Regular movement. I mean, I'm like her.
Go ahead.
Not to out Becca's volume of miles that she put in her training block, but it was 12 miles a week was her average
Oh my gosh.
in her block. So I went out like 16 weeks. I took out 2 big runs where we went up to and ran Potawatomi, and then she paced somebody at Stone Anvil.
And I ran a 50K.
We didn't in March. Anyway, if you take out the big runs where she did racing or pacing, which was 3, she averaged 12 miles a week in her 16 or 18 week training block.
Wow. So the mental aspect really, so you were just okay with having a healthy body. You hadn't been drinking. And did you change nutrition a little bit or?
We ate cleaner. Like we did.
Yeah.
We got really on like a lot of chicken and lettuce and tried to be better. And I'll say like also for me and Cruel Jewel, like that's probably I've trained a lot on the course. I've paced people on the course and ran out there a lot. And that was probably, I think, my 4th time being on the course racing. So I had a lot of knowledge of the course and I could pretty much like draw and describe it in my sleep. So I did have that going for me. It wasn't like I just was like, I don't have these miles and I'm going to go onto this course that I hardly know. Like,
yeah, I think there's like a tendency to say like, well, you're going to that foolishly, but I don't think that was the case at all. Like went into it with like an immense amount of confidence in what you could do physically, what you're prepared with mentally. So, and honestly, I think it says quite a lot that some people are running, their volume is just way too high for their bodies, and having a strong, healthy body and a clear mind goes a long way.
I'm a big believer in you can run 100 miles on 40-mile weeks and toe the line healthy and without overuse injuries and be strong. Now, maybe for that first one, you would want to average a few weeks of a little bit higher just to stress the body. But ideally, I would like closer to 35, 40 for me. And I will say, when I trained for Bigfoot, I did lots of 100-mile weeks. Like I went from just recreationally running to months and months of 80, 90, 100, 110, 140 mile weeks. I had several 140 mile weeks. Like now, was it like super intense? No, but I knew that my body didn't have years of racing underneath it. So it needed to be able to adapt to the stress. So I've done both. I'm a big fan of the lower mileage. Not as low as I did for Cruel Jewel. I wouldn't recommend that for anyone. And I will say this, I'm a big believer in strength in the hips. And that is so much. And it's a thing that we all know, but we neglect. And for weeks, I wore exercise bands while I cleaned houses. That's the other thing that I do. And as often as I could, instead of using a mop, I would put the bands on my legs and I would put rags on my feet and would mop the floors like that. I was constantly doing strength work throughout my day, wearing ankle weights and doing stuff like that. So it was very much a focus on overall strength.
Oh, that's really interesting. So you would be cleaning house and you would wear the straps around your legs to cause resistance, and then how did you wear the weights?
I had ankle weights that I just put around ankles, and I try to do those 2 to 3 times a week, and it would be for 6 to 8 hours at a time. The bands would be for 2 to 3 hours at a time, like walking and up and down stairs and stuff like that. Like if I was having to wipe down baseboards or do stuff, I made a point to try and be in a plank position and strengthen my core when I was doing it. It was all very like, okay, how can I make this super beneficial and not drag this day out any longer than it needs to?
That's really cool. I love that.
That's a good idea. I might just do that when I clean my house for no reason at all other than strength training.
It is great. Like if you're standing there wiping down a counter or doing something, like you can do, leg work and stuff like that and leg lifts, and you're in one place anyways. Like I think it worked. I didn't have any hip issues or knee issues or anything. I was still putting down 11 something minute miles, 70 miles in.
Wow.
Like once we hit the road, I was moving. So I think it worked. I don't think it was a fluke. I would do some things differently next time. But I think it was a good plan.
Yeah, that's really cool. I don't know the Cruel Jewel course that much. Can you describe what it's like?
It's really tough.
I've heard that. I know that.
It's the elevation gain loss is 33,000 feet. So it's a remote course that takes runners through. It's single track. There's road sections and steep climbs on forest roads.
Yeah, there's a 4-mile road section. The rest is pretty much all trail. The DRT which in that 20-mile stretch is about at least 8,000 feet of gain one way and till you get out. And there's no switchbacks on that. That section is relentless. Like it's a brutal course, but that's why I love it. Like it's one of those courses that just when you think it's about to let up, it just like crushes you.
Yeah.
But and it's hot. It's always hot. But I will say they did a bunch of controlled burns. So we had to breathe in like charred crap for like 20 something plus miles. But you didn't have the green tunnel that traps all of the humidity. So that was nice. I thought it was a little bit cooler than it typically is. So that was good. But yeah, it's a lot of up, a lot of down. There's this little section called Weaver Creek. You run a few miles out to it, and then Weaver Creek just drops like straight down into this little hollow. And then you got to climb right back out because it's an out and back. And I think that's probably the most brutal part on the course. It is soul crushing. But you get to see people, which is really fun.
Yeah. Is it runnable on the straight down, or is it slide on your butt?
You stay on your feet, but it's really rocky. It's really rooty, and it's like probably a 16 to 18% grade at a lot of it. I think the average grade on that course is about 14%. So not super kind. There's some parts that get steeper that go up to 30%, some 20%. It's it's intense.
So you said that it's pretty remote. Did you get to crew? Like, because you're like head crew man. Did you get to see her?
I am the head crewman. Yeah, so I crewed Becca in the race. It's an out and back, which is kind of nice. And then there's like 3 stops on the way out, and then there's 4 on the way back. So the trail crosses like state roads, which is nice. But there's state roads typically on top of a hill or side of a mountain. And there's no cell service. And then so there's no cell service out there, and then you kind of make your way down towards the river, and you're just this gravel road that goes through the forest.
Yeah, it's all like North Georgia, North Carolina, that area.
Yeah, it's really pretty. It's just it's definitely rough. You're not running to the store at any point. Like it is, you're living out of your car. You've got everything that you can bring with you is what you have. Like the state park it's held in is not even where the start finish is. It's 25 minutes from town, a small like North Georgia country town. So it's definitely out there. It's a beautiful race. I love crewing it. I've done it a couple times now. I think I've got it down pat, so I'm looking forward to going next year.
Is the website easy to follow, to be able to figure out how to get around, or like what should people do to prepare for that?
Yeah, so they do a really, really good job who is it?
Dumbass events.
Dumbass Events. They do a fantastic job with their website, a fantastic job with crew information. They have driving directions that you can print out because you will need them.
Yep, all your Google links and the directions.
Yeah,
on top
like
of it.
your GPS isn't going to work up there, you know. So all the directions are there, the aid stations, and you're able to follow them from one aid station to another. So yeah, they absolutely do it. They do a great job hosting that race and making sure that as a crew person, you've got all the resources that you need to see your runner and know where they're going to be. So yeah, it's pretty friendly. Parking is usually generally pretty good for a crew spot. Thankfully, Becca was running up front this year, so that makes it a little easier on me. It's
different
always,
from the last go.
It's always easier to crew from the front. It's really enjoyable. So
yeah, you get to pick the parking spot first before everybody else, and
absolutely, you don't have to look for it if you're the first one there.
Yeah.
Well, that's
no 41-hour finishes.
Yeah, last time was like 41 hours. That was a long 2 days, so much quicker this time. Yeah, it was a good time. Like I said, I had so much fun. I'm looking forward to going back.
Yeah. It is, and it's beautiful country. It is up there in between like the Benton Mackay Trail and the AT. Like it's just beautiful. It utilizes parts of the Benton Mackay. So
is it forested most of the time, or is there like vista views, or like, you know, what's that like?
It's pretty forested. We actually got some views because of all the burns, but literally on the entire 56-mile course, or you know, for the Outback Lake, there's only 2 views. That's it. Everything else is freaking trees.
Yeah.
There's one spot after Fish Gap on the DRT that you can see, and another one in between Will Scott and I think Stanley Gap, or anyway, something on that stretch. And those are the only 2 pictures that anyone ever takes of like, look at this beautiful view. That's it.
Yeah. Which is, you know, the added benefit of another, like a hard race. It's something that's brutal that isn't even rewarding in that aspect, where like at least you get to see the top of this mountain. No, you just get to see trees. Keep on running.
Yep.
Yeah, kind of like when you take a trail, you know, you're heading off to some big vista, and your big view is that chair at the finish line.
Now, I will say this, that was the best chair I have ever freaking seen. I have never been so excited to get to a chair in my life.
And you said 40-some hour finish on the last time you did it. What is the cutoff for that race?
48 hours. That's how brutal that sucker is. And there is a lot of 40-hour finishes. And this past year, I finished in 31, I think.
Holy cow.
And my goal was 30. So, and it was so funny. I ended up crying a lot of happy tears. That was not in my plan. I said my dream day, like, come together. I'm going to do 30 hours or sub 30. I was like, that's the day that everything goes perfect. It goes to plan. That's what I'm basing my race plan off of. And to be fair, super aggressive. And I talked to my buddy Glenn, who is he cannot tell a lie and he cannot be kind about anything. And I was like, here's the deal, Glenn. I know you know this trails as well as I do. Here's my plan. He goes, that's really aggressive. I don't know how that's going to work out for you. And I was like, here's the thing. I know I can do it. I know I can. And I told him, I said, you know, if I hit Skeena by noon, I will be in the best place and I will be able to run 30 hours. Like, if I can just get there by then. And
yeah, I was actually, so Skeena Road is the last aid station on the way back. It's the first aid station on the way out. It's the last one on the way back. It's 20 miles. So it's a pretty big stretch. And she came rolling in on Saturday afternoon, getting her stuff, getting her food, you know, changing her water bottles, getting her to sit down and eat a little bit. And she starts like, I need my headlamp. I'm like, no, you don't. And she's like, I gotta have my headlamp. It's like, listen, it is not even 12 o'clock yet. You've got 20 miles. Like, you don't need your headlamp. You will finish by dark. And if you do need your headlamp, you better finish by dark. Like, you're not getting one. It's not going to be dark for another 8 hours. Like, get this stuff done. And it was an emotional day for her to be where she was at and having the race that she was having. She said there was a lot of tears. There were a lot of tears. There was a lot of crying going on. And it wasn't like the I hate my life crying. It was the I can't believe I'm doing this crying, which was really fun to watch, from my seat.
Yeah. And yeah, that last 20-mile section is the most intense. It's, like I said, probably 8,000 feet of up and down. And it is, going out, I think it took me conservatively, I was at like 5 hours and 20 minutes or 40 minutes.
Yeah, about
like
5:20. You got there pretty quick.
Yeah. And I said I didn't want to be there before 5:30 or 5:40. If I was before then, I was moving way too fast. And apparently, it ended up being perfect. But I came out of there, like I was crying. It's a 1 mile climb, like out of the trail. And I told John Harden, who was my pacer, and he was with me for the whole 56 miles. I was like, this is the best day ever. I'm crying because I'm so happy. Like, I never thought that I would be like second in Cruel Jewel, one of the toughest 100-milers around. And I was like, and I'm above where I thought I should be. Like, I'm ahead of pace. And so I didn't even wear my watch for the first 30 miles of the race. And I never really paid attention to my watch except for some heart rate. And I was like, I literally had no idea what time it was. It's just like, I've just been running this race by feel. This is amazing. And it was a mess to watch, I'm sure.
No, it was great.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That is really great. Yeah, is your pacer somebody that paces you often at races, somebody you train with?
So John Harden's one of our dearest and best friends. He puts on Hardwin Adventures, and I've crewed him on a couple of his FKTs that he's got. We're actually gearing up for him to go after the AT next year. John doesn't really do races. He did our mid-state race. It was the first race he's done since 2014. He does a lot of his just kind of own stuff. And that's the longest him and I have ever ran together. I think we've not ran more than like 20-something miles together, and that's through his FKT stuff, or we just going out for a run. But he was like, well, I need like a long run. And I was like, well, you should do all 56 miles because you need to do 50-mile days back to back. And I was like, this is a tough course. Like, it'll be good for you. And you look like you have a thought.
No, I'm in agreement of everything. Yeah, we just committed. I told him that he was going to do the whole back half.
Yeah. And we wanted John because John could be really, Harden has the ability to push me. And I said, I don't want a friend. Like, as much as I love friends, like want to have a good time, like I went out to push myself for Cruel Jewel. That was the goal. Like, we're not shooting fireball and drinking beers and like having a good time. Like, I have work to do. I need to go out and see what I can do on that course. I'm not out there to spend another 40 freaking hours on it. Like, it's a business trip. And Harden, he won't take any crap, and he'll look at me and be like, Bex, I don't really give a shit how you feel. This is what you have to do right now. And I can be like, fuck you, and we will be fine. The friendship will not crumble. There won't be a conversation to have afterwards.
We haven't seen him since, though.
And it was
we just haven't hung out since then.
It was funny because at like one part, like him and I, we're going down a couple of descents on the DRT, and he's like, how are your legs still bending? He's like, I just don't understand how you've done 100 miles of this. This is awful. This is really hard. And I was like, John Harden is such a beast, and also used to be a Ford model, so he always looks picture perfect while he's out there.
He
with
genuinely
his
does. Like the finish line picture. This man has ran 56 miles. He's been up for a day and a half, and he just looks like he's floating into the finish, like behind her, like a gazelle. He's unnatural looking. It's uncomfortable. Like, I should have used that picture for the promotion. So, they wanted me because it's just much more flattering. But they're a really good team, and it was, he's one of those guys that's really strong and can push and knows what it takes to meet your goal. And so it was they ran really well together. It was definitely a business trip. He would come into the aid station. I'm taking care of two of them, and trying to get everything sorted and get them turned out as fast as we can. because we don't want to waste time at aid stations.
Which you did an amazing job
Yeah,
of.
I am amazing at doing crew captaining.
You really did. You rocked it.
I know.
I was grateful for that.
I appreciate it. Thanks for running so fast.
That was my job that day, I guess.
So did you guys have a plan coming into the aid station to help? You couldn't have any idea when she was coming in. Like, how did you help her get through quickly? Because obviously that
I had
helps.
a pretty good idea. Kind of just playing off the first one. I knew about when she would want to be, at the first aid station, then just kind of play it by ear from there. Like, okay, here's, this next one is 6.7 miles. Like, she should be coming in. So I always kind of had a rough idea. I had a pace chart, but we were out in front of it, so it wasn't really something I was looking at.
I didn't know we had a pace chart. I just said, here's what I plan on doing. And
then it's just, putting some stuff out. Like, I know we're going to change socks here, or I think we might have changed socks once in the beginning. She was running in sandals, Tiva sandals, so we didn't really have to worry about shoe changes. We did that once. She ran the first 20 miles in shoes, and then she ran the next 86 in Tiva sandals.
Yeah.
So that kept her feet in really good condition. I think we changed clothes once. It's just, so the way we kind of do everything is we package everything up and label it in individual bags. So if she does need a shirt, it's really easy to find. It's really accessible. You don't have to dig through anything. And do the same thing with nutrition. I would, get her water bottles filled up so we could just swap those out instead of waiting to fill them, and then, pull out a couple gels that she might need, maybe make a sandwich and just kind of like, here's your stuff, you go now.
Yeah. We initially had a plan where I bought another pack so we could swap out the packs, and they were different packs, like something to do with like the bottles for the Solomon stuff. And I liked the one that I started in. So I was nah, sucks for you. Like, you got to swap that stuff.
Yeah, I remember that
now.
Yeah. The new Solomon vest. So we did have to fill water bottles. It was super, I mean, that's what took the longest amount of time, is me just filling up a water bottle.
Yeah.
So
I think I did. For me, I'm usually really bad about killing time and like bullshitting at aid stations and like, blah, 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 I'm comfortable, let me hang out here.
Yeah.
And he did a really good job of like getting me out. And I was like, all right, I gotta go. There were some times where I was like, oh yeah, just take a little bit longer to like get that pack. Like,
yeah. So like, I mean, when it comes to like making mashed potatoes, like I make some mashed potatoes and then I keep them in a Yeti tumbler, which keeps them warm.
Those are so good.
So you can make those and they're going to stay warm for an hour or so. So it doesn't really matter, like, if she's going to come in right at that minute, they're going to be ready to go. So there's just little things like that where everything can be ready without having to like come in and say, oh, I want chicken soup. Well, tough. You have mashed potatoes. Like, it doesn't matter that you want ramen. I will make you ramen next time if that's what you want. Eat the mashed potatoes. You have to go now.
To be fair, I don't think I ever even want ramen because I know it's not calorie dense enough, and it's just
no. You didn't want ramen. I did get I had some broth for you ready that Saturday morning though. Just being proactive. Making sure coffee is ready. Like, I want coffee, so I'm going to make coffee anyway.
Yeah, because that's hard on crew. You get kind of tired because it's kind of boring during the middle parts.
Yeah, I mean, I love it a lot. Fortunately, we had an Airbnb that was close enough this year where I actually got a nap Friday night. So the race starts on Friday afternoon at noon, and then there was a big gap up until the halfway point. So I actually got a bit of a nap for like an hour up until then, and then I slept in the car after the turnaround, waiting for her at the next aid station. So yeah, but thick blanket, I went right to sleep. It was amazing. Some of the best sleep I've had.
I didn't get any sleep. I slept a lot in the last one though. I laid down on the trail and took a lot of naps and probably some pee spots. Not really sure, but looking back at pictures,
you don't say that.
It's a good possibility. Well, you kissed my face afterwards. I thought that you should know you were kissing probably pee face.
I didn't. I kissed around you, like. It's weird. It's a weird thing.
There's several pictures of me laying on like logs that were across the trail.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, you would have got done a lot sooner if you would stop sleeping.
She took a lot of naps last time around, but she went there with a different mindset, and that's what that's the difference is, she ran more miles for the last one, ran less miles. This one was a lot healthier mentally, physically, emotionally, and went there with a plan that I'm not here to screw around. I'm here to work. Like, didn't do a single shot of Fireball, didn't mess around. Did not spend 1 minute at an aid station or a crew spot longer than you had to.
Yeah.
So you did Fireball at the one that you were napping a lot?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I at one point I was like triple fisting. I had like Fireball, I had a beer over here, an orange Fanta, a Mountain Dew, and then I was like happy crying looking at all of our friends, because we also had a huge crew for that one. Like,
yeah,
we had a couple other runners as we did this time, but it was a different feel this time. Like, the time before, we had so many people that when I came in to the aid station, I had to go like sit in the park because it was too much. Like, people were asking me, what do you need? What do I need? And I was like,
it was nuts.
I was like, oh my God, this is so hard. I can't talk to any of you right now. I love you all so much, but it's too much.
Yeah.
And but at one point, I had all these drinks because I just wanted a little bit of everything. And I was like, I'm so happy to have you guys here. So amazing. Thank you so much. Fireball, IPA, Miller Lite, Coke, Fanta. At one point during that race, I was eating pizza that they got me, and then I was washing it down with pickle juice, and then had Skittles on the other side of my mouth.
It is a whole thing. It is a whole thing.
It was a hot mess.
Oh.
So.
And your stomach held up for all of that.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, she's different. She's different for sure.
When I eat, I have a hard, like, I can eat and my stomach can hold it. I just don't want to eat. Like, I get that way, as most people do. And you're like, what do you want? I'm like, I don't want anything. I don't want anything. So either I don't want anything or I want all of something, and you cannot give me enough of it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want mashed potatoes with sprinkles and chocolate icing and pizza crust.
Is it?
What's the craziest thing I've asked you for?
I think this race at Crowgill, I think we did the lemon frosting was kind of the weirdest, like, probably most like untraditional thing is lemon frosting from the cake aisle. It was delicious. I'm not gonna lie, it's so super good. But that's probably the one. We have like oddball thing.
We have a heat sealer from like his survival rubber things that he was making, still is making. And so we had like these little packages that we could put stuff in and then seal it. Yeah, little foil packs. And so I had some of that lemon frosting, and it was in that last section. I told her, I was like, I just need something out of the pack. Like, I don't care what it is, whatever it is, just give it to me. And he handed me that, and I thought it was going to be peanut butter, and a part of my soul died. I was like, oh, so terrible. And then I put it in my mouth, and it was that lemon frosting, and it was like the best thing I've had since I can remember. Yeah. It was amazing. It brought me so much joy, and I was like, that was the best decision I've ever made. Thank you, Publix. I was like, as I was like slurping it out of the pack, I was like, oh, this brings me so much joy. I was like, Harden, you don't even know how good this is right now. I was like, no, I'm watching you. I was like, no, but you don't even know. No, I can see it. I was like, dude, you want some? He was like, no, your slobber's all over that.
I'm gonna have to get some lemon frosting now. So like a buttercream frosting, or like that jelly stuff that's in the center.
Buttercream. Like,
buttercream.
Yeah. It was just super delicious. Like, I had some just because I needed a snack, but super tasty. It's calorie dense. It's a lot of sugar. It's exactly the boost you need. It tastes really good.
Yep.
So it's not like eating. You don't have to chew it at that point in the race. Like, chewing is hard. Can become an issue. It's not candy. I think it's maybe one of our tricks.
Yeah,
it's just frosting. If you like chocolate frosting, use chocolate frosting. I don't know.
Chocolate, vanilla. I don't know. That lemon zesty citrus.
The lemon zest is nice. It's refreshing.
Yep.
Yeah, it sounds really good. What a cool idea. Yeah, just go through the grocery line and go, what would I normally not eat? and
Right.
what
Yes.
to eat.
That's pretty much my race nutrition.
Yeah.
What
That
is
is-
everything I would put on the, oh my God, you can't eat that list. Throw it in the cart.
Yep.
Let's go. Little Debbie,
Mhm.
We
yep.
can eat it
toss
this
it.
week. Yeah.
So you've done this race multiple times, and this one just everything came together. Do you have a desire to go back and see, I wonder if I could do it a little faster? Or
So
Mm.
I've done the 50 twice prior to the 100. It was actually my first 50. So it was like a 22-hour finish, and not necessarily by my accord. It was the year that a big storm rolled in, and it was like 14 hours of monsoon. I had a couple guys, it was their first 50, teamed up with them, ended up finding a runner that had like heat exhaustion and was like passing out. We carried that guy a couple of miles to the Will Scott aid station. That race, everything went wrong. The first one, I was like, yep, this is terrible. And I plan on doing this in like 17 hours. And that did not happen, which it was a beautiful, amazing experience. I learned a lot. And then the second go around at the 50, I didn't realize at the time I was still suffering from a lot of adrenal fatigue and having a lot of heart issues. And so I made it up until like the Skeena aid station, which where you have like 18 miles left, and my blood pressure had been incredibly high. Like probably it was way higher than it needed to be, and I was having chest pains and a lot of stuff had been going on, and I was like, well, I could go on, but then I'm going to be on the most remote part of the course and put myself in danger. So I dropped, and then I did the 100 2 more times. But I'm planning on going back next year for the 50. And not going to say that's going to happen because that's aggressive, but I want to try and outright win the 50 and go after the course record. Like I'm going to say it. I probably shouldn't say that out loud.
No, I think you should say that out
I think
loud.
that you
Mhm.
should. I put
Yeah.
it out in the universe.
Yeah.
Yep.
You should say
You've
that's
already
why I'm
proved
going
that you
back.
can.
Yeah.
And
Why would
again,
you not say that?
I don't know, and may or may not happen, but I want to have that on record. Like I'm going after it, and I want to give that 50. I want to PR my 50-mile time on that freaking course.
That shouldn't be hard. Your last 50 mile on that time was 22 hours.
No, well, on that course, but my PR for a 50 mile was
I
like 10
know
hours
that.
something. So I want to get after it because I love that course. It's not because it's beautiful, but the race itself, I love the people that put it on. I love that course. It is hands down my favorite course. And I wish I could nail down a specific reason why, other than it has just kicked my ass and stolen my soul so many times that I have such a connection to it.
That's probably why, yeah.
It is. Like, I think it is the course that I have the most emotional attachment to out of any of them.
Probably a greater emotional attachment than you have to me.
I love you, but yes,
That was a long pause.
probably. So yeah, to answer the question, yes, I do. I plan on going back, and I plan on wrapping up some 50-mile business on that course.
That's
Get it.
awesome. I can't wait to watch that. I'm guessing that your 100-mile time's got to be one of the fastest, like at least one of the top 10 fastest.
I think it's the 11th.
Oh,
I think
okay.
it's the
Go back and
11th,
look.
which is crap.
For women?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. I was really hoping top 10, but I think I missed it by just a handful of minutes. So that, which is okay.
I didn't look.
Yeah.
That just gives you something else to do later on.
Mhm.
I
There you go.
will go back because I do think
We can do that for 2023. You can take the women's overall time.
There you go.
I think I could haul ass on that course if I trained and did things. I could.
Maybe.
So we'll see.
We'll see.
But I did. I ended up having a beautiful day come together. Everything that I needed to come together did. I was very, very blessed. And there was not a moment I took for granted of that. Hence all the crying. I was looking at him, I was like, are you proud of me?
She was. She just came in crying. Like, are you proud of me? I just want you to be proud of me. I'm proud.
Aw.
Aw.
I went from dancing in the parking lot before, all like cocky. It's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a good day.
So you've done both kinds of training, like, I mean, you did insane miles for Bigfoot.
Mhm.
That's just complete opposite of the way you do it. Which way do you like better? And what do you think you might do? Like your ideal way.
I think probably closer to 40 miles is the sweet spot for me. I think that's enough where you can target certain workouts, get what you need aerobically, anaerobically, and have time to strength train and not keep your body in a state of depletion. And I think that's what a lot of people do is they overtrain. Just even that extra 15, 20 miles, like just keeps you in a state of like being tired so you can't reap the benefits. But everybody's body is different. Like we have some friends that are sub-elite or elite athletes, and they need that higher mileage because that lower mileage, even as dialed in as it is, doesn't push their body enough. So I think a lot of it has to do with confidence, how you feel with how many miles.
Yeah, I think that's to that point is that a lot of people need the high volume to be confident.
Yeah.
And that's,
but not necessarily to be successful.
Very well said. That the high mileage to be confident, but not successful. There's a break off between building yourself up and not giving yourself enough time to recover, but actually reap the rewards of that 60, 70 mile week you did. So
I stay in recovery. It's whatever. What? What?
Doesn't make
When we release this as a podcast, people really need to come and watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Just to see your guys' face.
Just to see the faces, yep.
So I'm telling you now, you just turn it off, go to YouTube, and you need to watch this.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Goodness.
But no, I think the lower mileage is probably an overall strength is the happy place.
100%. Because, and I think that comes at a cost. High volume, high miles comes at a cost to your physical strength. That like running that much does damage to your body. And it's not that it does permanent damage. It's just that that's the point of resistance and stress is that it kind of breaks yourself down. You have to give your body time enough to recover from it. So if you don't break it down all the way down with 40 or 50 miles, if that's all you're doing, then your body has less to recover, and then you can keep that up longer.
Yeah, I think there's a lot less overall inflammation and irritation and overuse injuries, and a lot of ultra runners think of injuries as a badge of honor, and I completely disagree with that. Overuse injuries and things that are bothering you are because you're lacking in one area, and typically the hips. Shakira. I would say it's all Shakira does. Hips don't lie. Like it is all in the hips. And if you aren't taking care of those, you're going to have IT band issues and calf issues and ankle issues. And that's the other thing, like weak hips are on the other side and ankle issues. And people are like, whoa, I'm doing this. Like, yeah, it's because you have bad stabilization muscles. Like there's so much that I think gets neglected when you take that 8, 10, 14, or however many hours a week you've dedicated to training to just running.
And that you said that you wear the Luna sandals?
Tiva sandals.
Or Tiva sandals.
Yeah, which they're not even running sandals. I do the universal, regular old, like wear them around Disney World sandals.
Oh my god! Yeah, I've got to look those up. I don't know what that is exactly, but it sounds like, what is the reasoning behind that?
Those are the flip flops I like to wear.
So actual flip flops you wear.
They have a strap.
They have a strap. Yeah. But I have ran in the flip flops, and that's how I got into sandal running. Was I forgot my shoes and we were going for a trail run, and all I had was my flip flops. So I ran in flip flops, and I learned to keep my toes cinched up, and I had enough foot strength at the time to be able to keep them
like monkey feet.
Yeah, like I've always been able to write with my toes. I've always had a lot of foot strength and been able to pinch. Watch me. it's not a sexy trait. Like, I'm not like, hey, babe, you want me to watch? I can write your name in cursive if you want to check it out.
Strong toes. I would advocate for your strong totem.
But I'm always picking stuff up with my toes because I get lazy and don't want to bend over. Anyways,
Seen that.
A lot of foot strength. So the flip flop stayed on. And then there was another time I went to go do my friend's like stair workout, and you would do like whole circuit thing and then go run up the stairs and run down. And I forgot shoes. So I had my flip flops on, but going up and down the stairs, they were flopping too much. So I just took them off. And then I ended up running barefoot. And I was like, oh my God, there's so much in my lower foot and ankles that's sore. I was like, there's so many muscles we don't use in shoes. And that was like my first introduction.
I am not interested in using those muscles.
Fair enough. It hurts a lot when we start using them. So I started wearing Zero shoes, their sandals, and there's just no padding. So the first year of Cruel Jewel 100, I ran 80 something miles in those Zero shoe sandals that I ended up breaking something in my foot. I'm not sure when. I didn't really realize it till a few days later, but I was like, oh, that's broken. And my feet hurt so much. So I decided I needed more padding. And I love the Tiva flip-flops. So they had sandals. And I was like, well, I'll give them a shot. And I bought some because they're only $50. Like, whatever. Why not? And those have been my go-to since. Trail, road, doesn't matter.
Wow, that is really cool. I want to see a picture of you with those on. Do you have any of you running with them on?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, make sure you send that. We could share it on the Ornery
we'll do.
page. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, like to think outside the box. It's not conventional running sandals. And, Greg Armstrong runs in like the Tiva sandals. That's what he did Ball State and stuff in. And I think with the sandals, I've had way less feet trouble. Like, I don't end up with blisters. I also wear the Exoskin socks, like the toe socks or Injinji socks.
2 pair.
Yeah, I wear 2 pairs of socks.
I mean, you don't have to worry about your feet, being waterlogged. They drain, obviously, because it's not a real shoe. I think your feet have room to swell if they need to, or keeps them less swollen overall because there isn't that restriction there. I mean, it works for her. It works great, obviously. I'm going to keep on wearing shoes.
Yeah, it did suck at the end of Cruel Jewel because, like, the last few miles, I couldn't bend my legs because my quads had seized up so bad. And I was, like, stubbing my toes.
She also doesn't have toenails.
Well, I only have 4 right now. And it's because of...
So the whole sandal thing comes with a cost, and it's your toenails.
Yeah, well, saves money on pedicures.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
There you go.
So but that was the only issue I had, was like where I kept stubbing my toes because I couldn't physically lift up my feet, or when I could, I was like, I don't care, it all hurts so bad anyway. It's like, it doesn't matter, it's not worth the energy.
Well, I hear a lot of reasons why you're really good at the Cruel Jewel course. I'm curious what you think a strength is you have that makes you especially good at that.
I think my ability to stay positive and stay grateful in the moment. I genuinely do. I had some friends out there running and that saw me working aid stations, and they're like, Becca just looks so good. Even when I didn't feel good, you can think that I look good. I can smile and I can laugh, and I can always, no matter how I feel on the inside, be okay. I think that that's one of my greatest feats. It's not always been there. It was not a gift that just came ingrained. It's something I have worked on, but I have realized when you come from a place of gratitude and happiness, it makes even the things that suck a lot less suckier. Like the pity parties and this is so miserable.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't serve you.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It just makes it that much worse. So I'm very good at going, this is my life now. I guess this is how I live. Whatever.
Right.
No, I would agree. Becca's ability to stay really, really positive, like the place that she's coming from to do a race is just this wholesome, uplifting place, and there isn't really room for negativity, and there really isn't really any room or time to feel bad for yourself or bad about what's going on. And that carries over. It carries over to me as a crew person. I think it carries over into our coaching philosophy and the way we approach events. You know, we were up at Odelaz a few weeks ago, the backyard golden ticket, and there was a lot of comments like, you know, we were crewing Dave Compton. That's why we're there. Is like, you know, your guy looked really strong. Like he always looked really good, because when he went into the corral, like we're gonna lock everything up. And we're gonna show up to run this next loop like it's the first one we've ran, and we're not tired, and there's nothing else going on. There was loops where obviously things hurt, and the nutrition, the digestion isn't where you want it to be, and you're struggling a little bit, but we're not going to show that to anybody. Like we're going to show up positive and grateful and happy to be there, and like this is just another easy 4 miles. Like there's no reason to show anybody else that you're suffering.
Yep. It's an easy day. Easy day. And it takes work to dial that in and to not let some of that crappiness, because you know, my racing 2 or 3 years ago, like I did not have that ability. Like it was on my face how I felt. And I have worked on like my soul could have left my body, but my smile is still there. It's great. It's great. How are you today? I'm awesome. And he's always like, or before he'd say, you always pick up a puppy. Like no puppies on this race. And it's finding someone who is hurting worse than me, so I stop focusing on how I feel. That's kind of been one of my go-to moves to shift, to get out of my mind and how I feel and how it sucks, is how can I be of service to someone else? How can I help someone else? And it's selfish and selfless. I didn't realize it at the time until he told me, until he was like, hey, like you gotta stop finding puppies. Like
she would do that. Like everything would be rolling, and like she would come in the next aid station with like just this destitute, like distraught ultra runner struggling to get through. Like, oh, this is my new friend. We're gonna go. I'm like, no, like, what are you?
Will you give us a mirror out of the cooler? We're gonna like walk this next section.
Like, you need to just go. Like, not like you're. So she would like slow down to help this other person along, and there's like, you know, benefit from it from her standpoint. Is it let her be distracted, let her focus on someone else. Like they're having a way harder time than I'm having.
Yeah, and I want to lift them up. Like that's also the beauty of the sport.
Yeah.
And if you're not in that place of like, all right, I'm gonna go like eat souls and crush this, like I don't know, why not have a good time, make a new friend?
Yeah.
If I can laugh and enjoy it, like I would rather do that than. I will say this, I do love running by myself. That's my favorite thing. If John Harden wasn't going to be able to pace me, I said, I don't want anyone. I just want to spend the entire time by myself. I'm super good.
Yeah.
But I love when I can lift someone else up. And if it helps me take from my wherever, that's fine. But not, I don't know. I just want to see people do good. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's really great advice.
I'll let my race go out the window if it can make someone's day. If I'm like, whatever, it doesn't matter. There was one race, I think it was Music City like 3 years ago. I had my fanny pack full of McDonald's cheeseburgers. And my friend, like, we were going up through a section and she was like, you didn't leave me. I was like, no, it's fine. Like, let's hang out. Like, this is a train run. Like, I don't care. And she's like, man, I just really want a cheeseburger right now. And I was like, funny thing, I have like 4 McDonald's cheeseburgers in this fanny pack. Do you want a cheeseburger? Are you freaking serious? And I was like, yeah, I've also got a Stromboli like in my pack. I've got some Fireball. Like, girl, we can hike out this like 6 miles. Like, it does not matter. I've got food for days.
That's accurate. That's a true story.
That is awesome.
Then I got back after the race and I made hot dogs and quesadillas or whatever else I made on like the little grill afterwards.
You made cheeseburgers.
Was it just cheeseburgers?
Yeah, because that was my first official 50K.
Oh,
and it took me a long time.
Where did you two meet?
We met here in Nashville at one of the local running clubs.
Yeah. The one I was mentoring.
She was mentoring. We didn't really hang out. It's funny that we that's how we met. But we didn't run together at all through that training cycle. Didn't really even talk. And then the club the trail club sponsors an aid station for a local 50K here, and I had ran, I think, the half, and so I went out and just hung out at the aid station afterwards, and that's kind of it. That's the first time we really hung out was with a group of other half drunk ultra runners at an aid station in December.
To be fair, it was very charming and cute. I just kept walking away because
I was gonna leave that part out. But so the deal is that I went out to this aid station because I knew a couple people. I kind of was familiar with everybody, but I had a couple people I was really comfortable talking to. And then we'd get in a group, and like Becca I'd be talking like in the group. Becca's in this group. I would go over there, like chat with a few people, and then she would just walk away. Like every time, like I went over to a group that she was in, she would walk away, and I'm like, what? First of all, you're wearing a cow onesie, so calm down.
And a Bud Light.
Second, like, what have I done that, like, every time, like, am I not welcome here? Like, what's going on? So it was odd. And then afterwards, she like sent a message to everyone and sent a message to me so that she could send a message to me. She sent a message to everyone that stopped by the aid station.
Yeah, so to be fair, so I had a boyfriend at the time, and I was trying to show what a good person I was. Not that I really gave a shit about his feelings, not yours, but other dudes. And
he's probably not gonna watch. It's fine.
It's fine. But like I want to show like what a stand-up person I was. Like, I'm not gonna cheat on my boyfriend. Like, I'm a good human.
It wasn't looking, I was just a conversation. It's not like I was
looking
soliciting
to
anyone at the time. Like,
100%. I was looking to do more than
hey, my name's John, your name's Becca. We could just say
hey,
hi.
my name's Becca. You want to make out?
I did not know that at the time.
Well,
at any rate, so that's how we met, and we just started hanging out as friends, and friends for hung out for like 3 months, and then
I did look to slide into his DMs by saying I was grateful for everyone. So I like head up like this aid station and like organize all the volunteers and stuff. And I did send a message to everyone, not only because I was grateful, but because I wanted to slide into his DMs and not be super obvious. And so that was kind of what I did.
So that was your move.
That was her move.
That was the move. Nice. And so then we started like texting and talking and
went furniture shopping.
Yeah, I went furniture shopping with him. He was looking for a new chair. We actually have a chair in our living room.
She cleaned my apartment when I moved out.
Yeah.
It was weird. It was fun to know. It was just, we were just friends, and
that
was really nice.
I know, you were very charming. You didn't try to be. That was the beauty of it. You were just you.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And we found out like we enjoyed running together.
Yep.
Like he ran his first like self-supported 50K and stuff. I joined him for like half of that.
She did. That's great.
And I think like the next couple of 50Ks he did, like I ended up joining him for some miles. So we found that we ran really well together.
This the third one, maybe. No.
Yeah.
The 50. Anyway,
we ran a lot.
We started running together, and we still run together. We ran together this morning. So and now we're better together. So we try to be.
You guys are a really cute couple. I'm so glad you
Aww.
guys met.
Yeah.
Do you guys have like a nickname, like Becca John, or like I don't know?
No, we haven't done it. We haven't done like a Benifer. Or
yeah, because Benifer is a thing again now.
Yeah, so. Benifer is a thing again.
Is it?
Yeah, Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez got back together.
I don't know.
You did not know that?
She doesn't pay attention to these things.
I do not pay attention to any sort of celebrity gossip. He is like, so did you hear? I'm like, no. I didn't.
Yeah, I'm the man of the people.
If I happen to see it in like the grocery aisle on like the Us Weekly or something, I might, but
no. But we need a thing. So like the event company in the endurance coaching is BMFJ events and coaching. It's just her nickname. So I like try to pretend like the J stands for John sometimes to make myself feel better.
So BMFJ.
Run faster.
Yeah. But that's not like a combination of our names that makes us cute and adorable.
BJ.
There's that.
We'll go with that.
We'll go. Sure.
I won't call you that.
Yeah,
That's fair.
that's fair.
Yeah, we don't have anything cute like that. Maybe one day.
Maybe
We'll have
You
to work
don't
on
look
that.
hopeful.
it's just their names are just too difficult to match together. It's because I only have one syllable. If I had another one, it would be easier.
Oh, I was thinking of something the other day though when we were driving back from Michigan because it was like, oh, I know what it was. Super sexual, like, subtext, but it was like Jones and Cox because his last name is Cox and my last name is Jones. Jones and Cox. Jones and Cox. That's what I was thinking about. That's the first time I was sharing that. We were literally passing cornfields and I was thinking about that. I was like, Jones and Cox, that's funny.
We covered a lot on this.
Yep. I like that. That's a good one.
They're gonna have to have a
That's good.
rating on this one.
I think it'd be a fun t-shirt. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I think so too. Like for your next race, like the team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
That is an idea.
I think it's a done deal.
No, it's a done deal yet, but I also don't order shirts.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Well, we should probably move on to the Ornery Mule Stubborn 5.
Okay. Yes. So you both can answer these questions. All right. The first question is, what is something about you that people may not know?
Off the cuff.
I
babe.
quit my job so that I could make a group run on Tuesday.
Oh, wow.
Really?
That's
Oh,
dedication.
that's funny. That is dedication.
I think for me, oh man, sorry. That's
Oh, what happened to off the cuff? You had all that time to think about it.
Yeah. I got nothing to compare to that. Like lactose intolerant. I don't know. I can't eat a lot of butter either. Like I got nothing.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't
hurt.
think a lot of people know you're lactose intolerant.
That works.
Yes. Yeah, it's true.
It's good.
I wish I had something like deep to uncover that
It's
was
not
like
zazzy.
an emotional, like peeling
It's not a
back
hidden
childhood
You-
trauma.
You can write with your toes.
I can't.
Oh, there you
yeah,
go.
we've learned quite a few new things that we didn't know. So.
I've learned some things.
What life is all about, sugar plum.
Is it?
Right. All right. Do you guys have any other hobbies besides running and your running stuff?
No, I don't have any other. I think we say this all the time that this isn't a hobby. We don't have other hobbies. This is what we do. We are ultra runners. We're committed to inspiring and helping other people meet their goals and exceed them. Like this is our life. If you look at our calendar from now until Christmas,
That's it.
like there's probably 2 weekends where we don't have something going on where it would just be a free weekend for us to either get in the long run we want to do or just do nothing. So no, we don't really have any other hobbies. I think what we do most of the time when we're not at an ultra or at a race is her dad is really into the racing here in Nashville, local racing scene. He's
Cars, like vroom,
race
vroom.
cars,
Okay.
Not run, run.
like vroom vroom. Very good, dear. he's on the Hall of Fame committee at the local track. So if we're not at an ultra in a weekend, we're probably at a racetrack on pit row.
Yeah.
That's I don't know if that's
Nice.
our other hobby, but if we're not on a trail, that's usually where we're at.
Yeah. Once upon a time, I really liked miniature trains, and
I think that's enough of the things that people don't know.
So do you have like a collection of miniature trains?
I used to, yeah. And I'd set them up like every Christmas. Once upon a time, I had this big like fake grass astroturf thing, and I had all these little people and things that I would like paint and towns that I would put together and like the trees and stuff. Oh yeah, babe. It was a whole thing. I very much enjoyed that. I had it on a big, huge like piece of plywood, and it was a thing. I used to go and look at other people's setups. of their miniature trains. I still very much love miniature trains. They excite me on a level that is probably uncomfortable to watch.
We're learning good stuff.
Yes, we are.
Oh, next question.
Okay. All right.
Or fish. Once upon a time, I used to keep fish. I had like 180-gallon aquarium, 100-gallon, a 75, a 40-gallon. I had like 8 aquariums at once. I used to really be into aqua hobby. And
did you say aqua hobby?
Yeah.
This
Aqua
is
hobby.
actually like one of our first, like, I don't even know we must have been dating at this point. She took me to like a reptile convention.
It's called Repticon.
And I about straight up lost my mind in this place. I could not. So she was, yeah, that was a whole. Anyway,
Yeah.
next question. Let's go.
Repticon was super cool though. It really was.
No, it wasn't.
It was. There was some great.
Repticon was not cool.
Yeah. Say
Nope.
what you want.
Repticon. We'll have to Google that. We're gonna have all
Repticon.
kinds of good stuff.
You do not want to go Repticon. Nothing against people that have reptiles, but
Oh, I'm
people
gonna Google it. I'm
people that
Googling it.
sell lizards at reptile conventions are different.
I used to have a couple snakes, and that's where I got them. Was Repticon,
Yeah.
and that's what got me hooked on it. And there were a lot of cool things there, and I really.
Nope. There
And
wasn't.
the fish world is what got me into it. There's a place called the Aquatic Critter here, and they have this huge place just full of fish. So many fish and aquatics. It is amazing. And then right next to it, they have all these lizards and caiman and turtles and frogs. And that was a gateway drug right there. Walking through there. And so when Repticon came, I was like, oh man, I gotta go check that out. Yeah.
So you had snakes. What kind of snakes? We didn't know this either. We're finding all.
Oh boy.
My first snake was a Kenyan sand boa, and she was really cool. I wish I could remember her name right now, but
Did she do tricks?
so she used to hang out in my pocket of my pocket tee, and I took her to like Allie's class. She was really friendly. It was Miss Annabelle. Miss Annabelle was her name.
Got it.
Repticon.
She used to like crawl through alleys like doll houses and stuff. So those snakes have you actually have to exercise them because they have a reputation for getting so obese because they're so lazy. And then I had a California king snake named Rhett Butler, and he was a jerk. I didn't like him. I was not sad when he died. He was really mean. So he kind of stole my joy from having snakes. But I had those two for a good long while. I kept fish forever though. I had 2 Oscars and a gar that I had for like 8 or 9 years in my 180-gallon aquarium. They used to eat from your hand and they'd let you pet them.
Oh my gosh. What does a mean snake do? Like, I would think one would kill you.
He only got like, I think like 3 feet long. Like he didn't get crazy because I didn't have him for very long, but just he would bite you and was super aggressive every time you tried to like put anything in the cage. And he moved so fast, it made me uncomfortable. Like I was still, even though I had the snakes and I could be around snakes and handle snakes, I was still not very comfortable because they still made me kind of like, woof, woof.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was really mean. I didn't like him.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened to him. I just came to the cage one day and he was dead. And I was like, sucks for you, pal. Don't have to deal with you anymore. I was trying to find you a new home. I have no interest in what happened. I ended up giving my Kenyan sand boa, Miss Annabelle, away because I kind of got done with the snakes. Allie got over the snakes. I had them for probably 3 or 4 years. And one of my regulars at the pub used to raise snakes. And he was like, I've been looking at getting another one. I said, buddy, I have the sweetest, fattest, chillest snake for you. She is all yours. She's like 4 feet long if you want her. Like, you can have her. I'll give you everything. Just take her.
Yeah.
So,
We don't have snakes or reptiles.
we
No
don't.
more.
Oh,
Pets.
We have 2 cats. One we call Kitty, the other one called Cat. Cat is not a good pet. She is not our favorite. Kitty's great though. Kitty's like a little dog.
Yeah.
Rainbow Sparkles and Honeysuckle Rose.
oh.
This is his life.
Yeah. Oh.
All right, what's our third question?
Yeah. There's like 20 minutes on do you have another hobby?
All the
Okay.
time. Miniature trains and snakes.
Third question is, do you have any influences?
Ooh. Go ahead.
Oh no, you go first. You probably more than me.
Yeah, absolutely influences. I think it's, first of all, Becca is a huge influence on me. And not only just the way that she handles and approaches ultra running, but her mindset for life, and day-to-day philosophy is really enriching, and there's a lot I can pull and do pull from that. My parents are a big influence. I follow Chad Wright, the 3-7 Project guys, Blake Wright, James Ward, Pastor Nate, that whole crew is a big influence on me as an individual, and those guys have poured into me. And so yeah, a ton of influences, but number one is probably Miss Jones here.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
I definitely shared several of those same influences in that. I think the biggest thing for me is probably the community and the drive to be a better person. Like, I don't know if there's like a handful of people and like this person, that person that fully makes a difference. I think it's just the overall, like, here's how you be a better person. Here's how you be more focused, and like little bits and pieces from everyone, I think is probably.
No, it's so huge. And I think that's like, it's not just a single person. Like it's definitely communities around us, and in our community, they're what keeps us going and uplifts us, inspires us to do more. And anybody that's done trail work for us or ran one of our events or reached out to us, like all of those individual people have influences, and it's like almost like you're in a position where you have influence over them, and they're thanking you for this gift or whatever it is. But it's all the way around. Like it's the opposite. It's those people that have influence over us and keep us moving.
I think it's that gratitude. If I had to say there's one biggest influence in my life, it is gratitude, and people being grateful for us, but us being grateful for their support. Like, I think that is the place where I try to operate from the most. And I look to people who are the most grateful, or who not necessarily give the most or say what they're the most thankful for, but just everything, like a weekend away at an ultra or at a race or volunteering. Like, that's what I draw strength from. And that's what, like, watching those small acts of kindness all over, all the selflessness and all the ability to give is my biggest influence on like how to not be a shitbag human, and to like try and make this world a better place. Like, if you're feeling tired and feeling like all the news and all the social media is wearing you out, go experience a weekend away at an ultra. Go volunteer just a little bit. And I think that it renews your energy and your faith in people.
Yeah. See, that's why she has influence over me, because I'm sitting here trying to think of like people that influence me, and she's turned this into like, what are your influence to an ideology, and to like biggest thing influence over me is gratitude. I'm like, I didn't know that was an option. But like, it's that she does that. Yep, that's why she's an influence over me. Because I think that's a really beautiful way to look at that question, is not just people that have influence over you, but what are the things that influence and what you. That's good job.
It was a really good.
That was great.
It might be one of my favorite answers ever to that question. Like
that's, that literally changes the scope of how I recognize that question now.
Oh, thanks.
We're gonna have to change that question, because nobody's gonna be able to nail it like that again.
Right. We're done. Like, we're done with that.
That one's going into retirement.
Speak
Drop
from the heart,
the mic.
keep it honest.
Yeah, that's
right.
Yeah.
All right. Next question is, what is something that you're looking forward to?
Really, so selfish and selflessly, like finding our home in the community and what we can do for people. Like, that's, I am really excited to see where that leads. Like, I wish I could say, well, we're going to do this race, or we've got like, said, no, like the lives we are going to change, or the people we are going to meet, and the connections we're going to make, and just to see how our lives evolve. That's it for me. Sorry,
that's another mic drop right
Yeah.
there.
I'm over here thinking about French fries.
Right. Save that for the next question.
Yeah, looking forward to it. I think I immediately went to, Tennessee Mile in December, and just being back out there with our family and seeing people on that course. Really looking forward to that. But I'm really looking forward to running Hennepin in October. I have redemption. I'm coming for redemption. Y'all sent me my buckle, and I didn't earn it, and I about threw that joker away, but I will bring it back. And ask you to please hand it to me again at the finish line. It's burning a hole through my dresser drawer right now. So I'm looking forward to running Hennepin.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, we'll be happy to hand that to you, and your finisher flannel.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will be very grateful. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Awesome. All right.
Our lives are going to change so much from that.
Yes.
Your life is going to change. Your life's going to be everyone's story. Everyone connected.
Listen, you don't have to be philosophical about everything.
I'm just saying.
All right. Our last question is, what is your favorite treat for a job well done?
Go.
No, you go ahead.
No, because you're going to be like flowering thoughts of wonderment in the universe.
I think for me, it's that bouncy little walk where I go, yeah. Like, it's a dumb little thing that I do, and I don't get to do that super awesome or often. Like, I think that's probably one of my favorite little treats. I wish I could say it was like a certain piece of pizza or chocolate shake.
No, we just do that kind of anyway. Although a chocolate shake after an ultra is kind of like, I try to reserve the milkshakes for after completing a race.
That is good.
But I like rest.
Yeah.
Like that good rest that next day where it's just sitting in a chair and doing nothing, or like getting up in the morning and being able to relax and have coffee, like that bit of rest, like it's all behind you and you get to just.
We had a day like that last week where we didn't have to do anything, and it felt really good. I don't know what we did. I think that was like a really nice reward. Do you remember what that was? Oh, well, I remember being really excited. I think we went to lunch.
I don't lunch.
Yeah.
I like lunch.
Yeah. I like going to go. I don't know. All day, every day, babe.
Oh, this is great.
Well, I'm looking forward to the dance at the end of Hennepin after, because I imagine your crew chief, Becca.
Yep.
Yeah, she's gonna be along for the ride. It's time to switch places.
Yep. I can't wait.
It's gonna be fun.
Hopefully it'll let me run with him. I don't know if it will or not. He may not want to hear
it. Maybe. Probably. You ran with me last time for 4 miles.
Yeah. No, we can't wait. We're so excited to get back up there. That course is so gorgeous. It's so beautiful and so much fun. The entire time I was sitting out there, I was just like, oh man, I wish I was running this. Like, I'm looking forward to when I get to.
Yeah. Yeah, I get to go there tomorrow. We have a board meeting. And we just bought a drone. And so we're going to like run down the trail and get drone footage of it.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
That'll be great.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
So yeah, I love it every time. Because I actually live about 2.5 hours away from it. So I don't always get to go.
Oh, okay.
Heck yeah.
Well, good. Well, thank you guys for coming on. I mean,
it
was
what
a pleasure. We learned a lot of stuff. John learned a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it was very informative. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, thank you. And
No, thank
good
you
luck
guys
on
so
all
much.
your stuff. Well, I know, your business, your races. I still want to take you up on your offer of coming and checking out your your race. That's very generous of you.
Yeah.
And we look forward to seeing you at Hennepin.
Yes,
Can't
for
wait.
sure.
Thanks. Bye, everyone. Thanks for
All right,
listening.
thank you guys. Bye.
Bye.